Hey everyone, you're watching Sportstar. Today we're going to be recapping the Indian Super League game between FC Goa and Jamshedpur FC, which ended 3-1 in Jamshedpur FC's favour. This was a far more interesting game when compared to the Northeast United versus Kerala Blasters match. No offense to either of the teams, their strategy was what it was. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out that review here. But in this half, there was the intent to defend. They were trying to not allow the opponent to come into their box and pierce through with those chances. But there was also the intent to try and attack from the other end. Jamshedpur FC in fact had 3 shots on target in this half, but they just weren't able to finish those chances. Credit also to FC Goa's goalkeeper Dheeraj, who incidentally was also named in the AFC Champions League Team of the Season, which is the first time an Indian has ever made it to that list. But he had a forgettable game come the second half when his goal was breached 3 times. Now, what the scoreline looks like, all of these 4 goals came entirely in that second half, and it started with Nereus Valskis finding form. Valskis came into this game after a 9-match goalless streak, so his loss of form was a little worrying for Jamshedpur FC, and we saw that in terms of how frustrating it got for them in that game against SC East Bengal. But Greg Stewart and Nereus Valskis made for a very formidable combination, and both these two came together for both the goals that went to Valskis' name in this game. The first goal in his brace came in the 51st minute, while the second one was a free kick which Valskis very generously converted. The third goal for Jamshedpur FC came from super sub Jordan Murray, who came in the 80th minute and had an instant impact. Iran Cabrera managed a consolatory goal for FC Goa, but it was too little too late, and they weren't able to do anything about overturning that scoreline to at least equalize and steal a point. This is a very worrying sign for FC Goa, given that this is their second loss in 2 games. They have been breached 3 times in each game, so their defense clearly has some things to figure out. Dheeraj, when he spoke to the broadcasters at the end of the match, took responsibility for this result and said that his performance put pressure on the team and they weren't able to see the game through with a favourable result. I, for one, would not want to be Juan Ferrando at the moment, because given that these guys have had 2 games and 2 losses, the morale of the dressing room will clearly have taken a beating. And that's something that he has prioritized as well. Juan Ferrando, of course, knows where they're going wrong. They do have a couple of injury worries. They have an inexperienced backline. There is a lot to figure out. But they do have quite a few games to sort of just get that sorted before it goes into a territory where they can't really do much about their fate this season. Nevertheless, it is really weird to see FC Goa grace the bottom of the table. So hopefully they get their combinations and their problems sorted sooner rather than later. Jamshedpur FC on the other side finds themselves on top of the table now with a win and a draw. And their biggest takeaway by far would definitely be Nereus Valskis getting back into form. What I found really interesting about this game, and that's probably going to be my biggest takeaway, is how Owen Coyle has sort of dealt with Valskis' poor run of form. Rather than take him off, given that he wasn't able to convert those chances, he persisted with him. Even the substitutions or the combinations that were made were to complement Valskis and to help him finish the chances that he was creating. We saw that in terms of how Greg Stewart and Valskis combined to get those goals today. So to see how this combination goes forward and to see now what happens, given that Valskis has just gotten over that rut, is going to be very, very interesting. Jamshedpur FC is a formidable side when Valskis is in form. So it's going to be interesting to see how many more teams the Men of Steel go on to frustrate. Although Jamshedpur FC shouldn't get too attached to that top of the table place, because today, November 27th, Saturday, is the Kolkata Derby. ATK Mohun Bagan takes on SC East Bengal, and we know what ATK Mohun Bagan did in their season opener. So it's very safe to say that they go into this fixture as clear favourites. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do against SC East Bengal, which is coming off a draw in its first game. They have a lot of things to figure out, especially trying to counter the feisty attacking line of ATK Mohun Bagan. So that match is going to be a very, very interesting one to watch. Of course, that's not the only game for the day, given that it's double header Saturday. Mumbai City FC takes on Hyderabad FC in the second match of the day, which is at 9:30 in the night. This is going to be a particularly interesting match because Mumbai City has been in great touch. We saw that in that 3-0 win over FC Goa. They looked really fluent. Hyderabad FC also had its moments, but they just weren't able to finish those chances. So I'm personally looking forward to seeing how they are going to sort out their problems from the first match and give Mumbai City a run for its money, if they manage to do so, that is. So it promises to be a very interesting Saturday of football. Do stick with us on Sportstar. We have coverage for both these games. We've got live blogs going, which you can follow on www.sportstar.thehindu.com. If you want to follow the updates while you're doing something else, you can do that by keeping a tab on our social media handles. We are on @SportstarWeb on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can also get live updates from the game delivered directly to your inbox if you subscribe to us on our Telegram channel. We'll meet you again with our double header review. Until then, goodbye, take care, thanks for watching.